What you streaming?
Hey y'all!
Hey everybody!
Welcome to the What You Streamin' podcast. I'm Allie.
This is Katie.
And we are your hosts of this fantastic little podcast called What You Streamin'. Well, hello there. Welcome to the What You Streamin' mini episode. I'm your host, Allie. And on today's minisode, we'll be given some updates on films that we have previously talked about on the podcast. We are gonna be asking the question, the hard question of, is there gonna be a season 2 of What You Streamin'? And I want to know what you think about that. We're also going to be introducing next week's movie, and I don't know, I might just shoot the shit a little bit with you on this episode. It'll still be short though, so don't worry, I won't take up too much of your ear time today. So to kick things off, I want to give an update on the Stairs movie, which we just talked about. I feel like I, of course, did not write down the episode number because y'all should know by now I do like half-assed research and note taking. So I did look at that past Allie, keeping future Allie on her toes. So we talked about the Stairs in episode 6, and we also talk about it in our Nevermore episode, which is episode 2. You can definitely go listen to those 2 episodes to learn more about the Stairs. But what I really wanted to share with you today is that the Stairs is now available pretty much everywhere. So we've been waiting for it to get, distribution rights and all that, and it has finally happened. And so you can watch it on video on demand platforms like Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Xfinity, the huge, wherever you enjoy streaming your movies from. I do want to, again, highly recommend checking out this movie. It is a glorious blend of campy humor and like disgusting gore and horror, and there's really just nothing more that you could ask for. So definitely check it out, and then give our episodes a listen, because we chat with the director of the Stairs, Peter, and he's amazing. He was hilarious, and it's been one of the most enjoyable episodes I think that we've recorded. So I highly recommend checking out the movie, and then come back to the What You Streamin' podcast and give episode 6 and maybe even episode 2 a listen, and let us know what give us a 5 words or less review of the Stairs. And you can do that by shooting us a text at our hotline number, which is 252-419-6004. So watch the movie, listen to the podcast, send us your reviews. You never know, they might show up on our Instagram or on a future episode of the podcast. Speaking of which, future episodes, we are getting really close to the end of season 1 of What You Streamin', and I've kind of been pondering whether or not to record a season 2, and I'm really interested to hear from y'all. You listen to this, I assume. My hosting platform tells me that people listen to it, so I assume some folks are out there consuming this content. So I'd really like to know if you would be interested in us doing a season 2. I originally started What You Streamin' as a bit of a filler podcast, but I mean that in a positive way, not like in a negative sense, to kind of give myself a break from recording my other podcast, the Fun with Friends podcast, and that type of content, to really kind of try my hand at a recap and movie podcast, because I love movies. I love chatting with Katie about movies, and some of my favorite podcasts are about movies, are people just hanging out and talking about what they've watched. So I really wanted to give that a try, and I've really enjoyed doing What You Streamin'. So yeah, I've been kind of thinking, if we should try to do a season 2, or maybe we just leave it at a season 1 and call it good. Something I've been considering is that if we do a season 2, maybe we focus on a specific genre to watch, or movies that have like a specific like movie trope, and that maybe we do less interviews with the directors and more episodes of just Katie and I, given all the crackhead energy that you need. But either way, I would really love to hear kind of what you think, what your feelings, what do you feel about the podcast? Do we do another season or not? Let us know. And you can do that by either going to our socials at Fun with Friends Podcast on Instagram, or by shooting us a text again at 252-419-6004. I do really want to hear from y'all, because again, you're consuming this content. I've really enjoyed making it, but I've got a lot of other podcasts in the works, and so I'm just trying to figure out, if What You Streamin' should live on, I guess. Either way, though, I will say that eventually I am going to be giving What You Streamin' its own feed. Eventually, I can't tell you exactly when that's going to happen, because right now it's part of the Fun with Friends podcast feed, and I really kind of want it to have be its own entity, whether we do a season 2 or not. So keep an eye out for that, as it will be a little easier to find and navigate, and it'll make a little more sense. So ponder that, season 2 or nah. If so, do you like how we do interviews with the directors, or do you prefer episodes where, Katie and I just shoot the shit about the things that we're watching? Should we focus on a genre, or should we literally just keep talking about whatever we happen to be watching? So I'm really curious. Would really, really appreciate your feedback on this, as it will help me determine the future of What You Streamin'. So if you're enjoying the podcast, give me your feedback. It will be extremely helpful. All right, on to next week's movie. Katie and I are chatting with the co-directors of the documentary The Orange Years, the Nickelodeon story. Adam and Scott were amazing guests, and we had an absolute blast discussing their documentary and kind of their journey of making the documentary and why they wanted to make it, and kind of how they turned this childhood passion for Nickelodeon into this amazing documentary, and also how their friendship played into the creation of the Orange Years. So it's definitely been one of my favorite episodes, I think, that we've recorded. And the documentary is one that Katie really enjoyed it, because she grew up with Nickelodeon, so she had there was a lot of nostalgia with it and kind of reminiscing, whereas I watched it from kind of like an outsider's perspective, because I did not grow up with Nickelodeon. So I had maybe heard of some of the shows, but I'd never seen them. I'd seen maybe like 1 or 2 shows. So I kind of watched it from that more of an educational perspective than a nostalgic perspective. So it was kind of fun to break that down with the directors of the film and kind of share our different experiences with them as viewers of the movie. It's a really fun episode. I can't say that enough. I loved recording with them, and the documentary was super enjoyable. I also enjoyed it, even not being that familiar with Nickelodeon. If you want to watch it, you can watch the Nickelodeon story, The Orange Years, the Nickelodeon story, on pretty much all video on demand platforms. Again, that's, Hulu, Vudu, Amazon Prime, everywhere. There are previews available on YouTube if you want to check out the trailers and stuff. It's really amazing. They get a lot of people involved with Nickelodeon to do interviews in the documentary, so that's also really an interesting aspect of it. I would say give it a watch. Join us next week along with the directors Scott Barber and Adam Sweeney as we break it down. And As always, hit us up on the socials. Instagram is Fun with Friends Podcast. Leave us a review. Like, get on iTunes. Again, it'll have to be under the Fun with Friends Podcast right now, but you can rate, review, subscribe. All of that really helps the podcast get out there. I really appreciate and value whatever feedback we get from the listeners, and really hope that you consider sharing some of your thoughts with us on season 2 of What You Streamin'. And you can do that again by texting us at 252-419-6004. I really just want to end today's episode by encouraging y'all to check out The Stairs if you like a good campy horror film, and also give The Orange Years a watch. I think you'll really enjoy it. And then when you come into next week's episode, you can reminisce with us. With that, I hope you watch something that you enjoy this week. And I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye. Also, if you are enjoying the podcast, hop on over to Apple, iTunes, and leave us a review. Maybe smash that star button. Give us 5 stars only, No. Leave us a review, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, all of that fun social media stuff. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you are watching something good this week. Get out there and get to streaming, folks. Bye.